So let's relive Paris together.
Let's do it.
Ezra sent me and Alexa Lavoie to Paris for less than 48 hours to cover the reopening of the Notre-Dame Cathedral. And we thought this, of course, I mean, this is a piece of human history, a cradle of civilization that had been burned mysteriously, but was, and I say this completely, miraculously reclaimed. Like the things that had to happen for this to be reclaimed and not be a woke abomination, it is a miracle. And miraculous things happened, you know, like the rose windows that are 800 years old were not destroyed, even as the roof caved in. And so many unsettled things about the fire. They still don't know what caused it. Was it an electrical fire? Was it an accident of workers working there? Was it something else? 2 fires started simultaneously, burned timbers that are near petrified. And how it came to be reclaimed, you know, 20% of the nearly $1 billion in euros raised privately for the reconstruction came from the Jewish community. As they were rebuilding and clearing away the debris, they were finding relics and Catholic artifacts they did not know were there in underneath things. I mean, it was like, it's truly God uses all things, right? Even the evil. And, you know, and then the fear of Catholics that, and I should say, none of the relics were damaged. So the crown of thorns was kept there. Like Notre-Dame Cathedral outside of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem, so the site of the crucifixion, the Church of the Nativity, the site of the birth, and the Vatican. This held some of the holiest relics in all of Christendom. And they weren't damaged. They were saved. And so what a good news story considering 100 churches burned and vandalized here in Canada. And the same thing is happening there. 1,000 acts of vandalism against the Christian community last year in France alone. 14 churches burned to date this year. I wanted to know, like, do you think this was an accident? I gave them the facts of the attacks on the Christian community. Do you think there is anti-Christian bigotry in the Western world? I wanted to know what they thought, even when you laid the facts bare to them. And we were there for less than 48 hours. And I hear you, people. You know, when we emailed out to our supporters that we were going to Paris and that we were crowdfunding our trip, a lot of people emailed us back and said, I don't want to pay for your holiday in Paris.
Oh yeah, it's not a holiday.
I get that. So I thought I would talk about the things about this trip that happened behind the scenes that I didn't want any of you to know. And I mean, it's sort of irrelevant because I didn't want to seem like a whiner, because I'm not. I'm the outdoorsiest person at the company. You could drop me off in the bush in the middle of nowhere. I will be the mayor of a small community in 6 months. So I did not want to complain. And I didn't want you, our beloved viewers and supporters, to be angry at Ezra for the conditions that Alexa and I were experiencing, because it was sort of sight unseen. And we started off the show complaining about the weather. The weather in Paris was atrocious. And again, I'm a -40 kind of girl. I can dress for that. But this was like wind and rain coming in sideways. So it just stung your face. And the kind of thing that an umbrella can't protect you from, because the wind just turns your umbrella sideways. Our equipment was wet. We were drenched, chilled to the bone all day long. I have to travel from Edmonton to Paris, which is like a day and a half trip in airports all the way there. Extreme layovers once you hit Toronto, and then carrying on. So it's 3 days worth of travel for 2 days worth of work usually. Every single flight I had was delayed on the tarmac, or, as is the case on my flights home, completely canceled and then rebooked. So, instead of coming home through Toronto and get back to Edmonton, then turning around, by the way, with only an hour and a half at home in the middle of the night to go back to Toronto for work, my flights were canceled. Even later, had to go through Montreal and go all the way back. So that's whatever. That's air travel in Justin Trudeau's Canada. He broke that too. But we book these trips sight unseen. And I should tell you, I think I did 5 videos from on the ground there in like less than 48 hours. We were not even allowed into the cathedral, but we wanted to show you as much as we could from there. Alexa did 4 videos, all of hers in French, and then like streeters on another topic. I think we ate 1 meal while we were there, like we were giving her all day. And I should tell you about our accommodations, because we booked these things sight unseen. So maybe let's, Olivia, if you would mind, because again, I want to reiterate, when we travel, we try to find the cleanest, safest, but most affordable accommodations.
Right.
And we bunk up sometimes if it's 2 gals to save money. This was smaller than twin beds pushed together. These were 2 cots and a headboard. You can see which side is mine. I'm super tidy. And then there's Alexa's. And we had to like turn sideways to go around the bed. So this is it. And just a little tiny bathroom. And it was like a little, like in our 5th wheel trailer that we used for camping.
Yeah.
The shower stall is bigger in my 5th wheel trailer. Just so you know, I didn't take a picture of the bathroom because our stuff was all over the place. There was not even, it was a sink, but no place to put your stuff on the sink.
Mm-hmm.
And let's show I don't know if you can see in the corner there, there's like a blue light coming in.
Yeah.
Sort of see it on the curtains. Can we show what that blue light was?
Oh dear.
The hotel sign right outside the window all day, all night.
Did it make a buzzing sound too? Like bzzz?
Yes. And I don't know if anybody, I watch a lot of Seinfeld. I don't know. I can just rewatch it over and over again. Do you remember when Kenny Rogers Roasters moved in next door to Kramer's and the red light came into his house all night and he couldn't sleep and he was losing his mind? That was me after 2 days, 2 days of travel to get there. And then this is how we had to sleep. And we worked till like 1:30 every night. So this is just coming in the window all night. And then Alexa heard scratching in the walls one night. I'm from Alberta. I've never seen a rat alive in my life. We don't have them there. I'm unaccustomed to it. We don't have rats.
BC.
We don't have rats. Mice, okay, I get it. But like large scratching in the wall at night. And then show the last one.
This is
the copper.
Oh my gosh.
Now, when we got there, time is of the essence. You just throw down your bags and we headed out to work it was very difficult to work in Paris because the streets are blocked off. So one day, according to my Samsung Ring, we walked 17 kilometers just walking in the pouring rain. But we just thought, you know what, we're only going to be sleeping here and sleeping just a few hours every single night. We're not going to try to move hotels. And how could we even find another hotel room? 40,000 extra people were in the city for the reopening of the cathedral. I mean, you just get what you get. So that was our luxury vacation that some of the critics said I took while Canadians are struggling. We did it as cheaply as possible. And I did not want to complain. And I don't want to complain. But I saw those emails and I thought I better explain myself. And had those emails not come in, I would never have said a word. I didn't even want to say anything to Ezra because I didn't want him to feel bad, right? He would feel horrible about sending Alexa and I halfway across the world. And like, for me, it's like a full 2 days extra travel than Alexa to get there. And you're just in, I don't want to say squalor, but, and the elevator, there was no elevator in the hotel. So 3 flights of stairs carrying our equipment up every single night. With our suitcases too. So anyway, that is that. If people want to support that trip, we still have some incurred costs, if you can believe it. It's at NotreDameRestored.com.
I'm so glad that you mentioned that. I've only been on one foreign mission, but you're right. No time for something called jet lag. You work like dogs to get the news out, and you don't have time to normally do this and let the people know really what it takes and how exhausted people are. But I've had incidents too with bed bugs and things like
Yeah.
that. But we suck it up and we bring the people the news. And the most thing is, if you don't want to support this, you don't have to. You can
Right.
watch these amazing reports for free. But thank God for the people who do come together and make this possible. And there's been many times where Rebel has gone international, and the people there are saying, thank you. Thank you
Right.
so much for coming this. So here Canada gets put on the map for having this independent news be the only one telling the other side of the story out there too. So I am very glad you brought this up, and I think people will appreciate, yeah, even if they were thinking you were just having wine and cheese all day.
I think my only meal there was a charcuterie board because I don't eat a lot of bread. We didn't have
Yeah.
time to eat. We did go see the Eiffel Tower like at midnight one night because we
Yeah.
were sort of done.
How dare
That
you?
was all the work. That was all the work that we could do, and we saw a robbery while we were there. And I was like, you know what? We better get out of here. Like, we just have to. I'm over Paris. I must go home
Oh my
to the middle
gosh.
of nowhere. And then when I finally got home, because my flights were delayed, rebooked, delayed on the tarmac too, that's a real joy. I got home to Edmonton. By the time I got back to my house, it was 1:30 in the morning. I had to leave sort of by 3 a.m. to catch a flight back to Toronto. So anyway,
Yeah. Well, thank
that's
you
the
for your
luxury
work.
vacation.
Yeah.